in the topic of, having BPD and stuff like that, I used to suppress my emotions. I used to suppress all of it. I never used to speak about it. I never used to let any sign that there was something wrong with me until I would get really angry. I would get really sad and be alone in my room and just, start freaking out. What made me want to go and figure out if there was something wrong with me was being, once again, being in my relationship and having these outbursts that I couldn't explain, or having these trust issues that I couldn't fathom and there was no reason as to why.
The following is a podcast with Mior. She's an actress here in Toronto who played Rose in Somebody's Hiding Something on CTV. In this episode, we talk about BPD and its effects on relationships and friendships. I hope you enjoy the podcast.
What up, fools? This is the Joe Pedrosa podcast, episode 32. I'm here with Diana Mior.
Hello.
Like Dior,
Yeah.
but with an M.
Exactly.
I know. I was thinking about that, for a couple days now. Dior, Mior. It's it's kind of like the same.
Yeah, it goes,
So, the way Diana and I met, we met on set. She's another actress. And we didn't talk much during when we were actually on set together, but we worked together.
It was briefly,
it
was like hi and bye, just small convo.
Do you remember what the convo was?
Absolutely not.
So the convo was during my comedy, I was practicing imitations. I think I was doing a parody of David Goggins, right? So I was just practicing parodying people.
Oh, you remember?
Do you remember that?
I don't.
Okay, so we were on Cruel. And then I was trying to copy every single person at my table.
Oh shit.
And then I was trying to copy their voice inflections and the way they spoke.
Wait, no, I do remember that.
Yeah, and then someone got you, and then you're like, "What do you want to do to me?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do you want to do?" And then I was like, "I'm sorry. We just had a code of conduct. I'm just scrap everything I just said." But then I imitated your voice. Do you remember that?
I slightly remember because I had a similar experience on what was it? I think it was also Cruel.
What was the experience?
I was with Diego and I was with a few other people and they were just making fun of me. They were they were trying to talk like me and yeah.
Oh yeah. Was it that same day?
No, I don't think you were there that day. Wait.
We were at the college, U of T.
Wait, was it that day? Was it I forget his name. We were with someone else.
CJ.
We were with CJ, but we were also with what's her name?
Shania.
Yeah, that was the day. Okay, yeah, that was the day.
I was imitating Shania, and then Shania said the N-word, and I was like, I'm not going to say that. But yeah, that's how we met. I was imitating her, and then I never spoke to her again. And
Literally.
then after, I was shooting this film with Diego called How to Get Girls. Check it out. It's on my main channel. But then we were looking for girls to work with, and you guys are doing acting classes together at LB. So how's the acting classes going?
Oh, it's really good. We're learning a bunch of stuff. I mean,
but you're too advanced for the class.
That's what I was told. Basically,
Mrs. Hollywood right here.
No. Basically, what he was implying was that I was too advanced for the class. That I knew too much.
Okay.
And he just wanted to make sure that I was getting my money's worth because I did know so much. But our third class was pretty questionable.
What they make you do? If you're allowed to say, I don't know if there's an NDA.
I mean, I don't know. We never signed anything. We basically got our monologues. So we're filming on our last class. We're filming monologues on camera. And so he gave our monologues to us. And everyone else had some pretty, laid back, straightforward, whatever, monologues until it came to get my monologue. And mine is basically just about, it's so sexual.
Oh, is it?
It's so sexual.
You flirting and shit? Or
no,
you whip your cock out?
So basically, to sum up the monologue, it's about a girl who I guess she's friends with benefits with this guy. And he opened up something on his phone and it was basically a dick pic.
Okay.
And it was me basically saying I want to sleep with someone who only wants to sleep with me, but I don't want a relationship.
Okay.
I don't want to be with someone who a girl asks to have a photo of your dick. I don't know. It was so weird.
Yeah.
And the worst part about it was Diego went, and then I went after, and it was just so awkward because Diego had to read it to me, and I had to like see if I could remember like certain lines from it. And he's like, don't look at the camera, like, associate with Diego. So, like, I'm looking at him in the eyes, and I'm like, I don't want a picture of your dick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was fun. Like, I think the coach is really good. I think he's really knowledgeable.
It's just awkward to do with Diego.
Yeah, because, like, he's one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I don't know, it was awkward, but we got through it. We made it through it, so.
That's cool. That's good. So, you said you've been doing acting since you were a kid.
Since I was 6 years old, yeah.
Okay, so like, how did that whole thing start? Did your parents make you? Were you like one of those child actors that the parents forced you to go and
get
all fucked up?
You know what? It started by like it started with like little things, you know.
Yeah.
I would sometimes not want to go to school, so I would just pretend like I was sick, and I would just start downpouring tears. Mom, I can't go to school, like I'm too sick, and she would believe it.
Yeah.
Until,
when did she catch it? Did she catch it? Like,
I mean, she believed it, yeah, but I would tell her after. I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, by the way, I'm not really sick. Because she would catch me like on my video games or like on my phone, and she's like, you're not sick. I'm like, no.
Just messing around.
Yeah, I'm just, you know.
Yeah.
And so she knew from a very young age. I mean, she used to make like little videos of me like doing little skits and whatever as a kid. And she just always had like a little itch that like it was something that I loved to do, and it was. Yeah. It was.
I think a lot of the things you want to, like your future career comes from when you were a child.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when you were just naturally curious and just like doing it for the fun of it.
100%. And I feel like my sister's a singer.
Yeah.
And that was kind of always her thing. And we, as kids, we kind of had this thing where we were like, don't cross each other's boundaries. Like, you're a singer, I'm an actress.
Oh, okay.
Like, we don't
But they
mix
kind of go together a little bit.
Yeah.
Like musicals.
And
that's like acting and singing, right?
Pretty much, yeah. And so she had her singing, and she used to perform and do all her stuff. I mean, she still is. She's making really good music.
Yeah.
When it comes out, watch it.
There you go.
Or listen to it. And so acting was kind of always just my thing.
Yeah.
It's something that I enjoy. It's something that I can get lost in. It's my passion.
Yeah.
I love it.
What about it gets you like so fired up?
Honestly, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a
like
feeling. It's just, you know, like I love being on camera. Like, I love people seeing what I can do.
Yeah.
I know that I can,
like transforming.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same thing happened to me when I was a kid. When I was like in 4th grade, I grew up, I don't know if like you remember this era. It was like the Asian YouTubers era.
Yeah.
Like Niga Higa, Kev Jumba. Like I was rewatching some of them like earlier today, and that played a huge portion of just like my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I would just watch them all the time, and then now the stuff that I'm trying to create is based around.
Do you want to know what I was saying earlier? Actually, the short that you did kind of reminds me of Wasabi Productions.
Okay,
I love them as a kid. I love them as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was more like Niga Higa. Do you remember like YTF Niga Higa? Wong Fu Productions?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, I used to watch a lot of that stuff as a kid. I was kind of that nerdy little kid who used to sit in her bed and just watch it. So.
Yeah, but then I had like this whole thing when I was in like an 8th grade, and I was like, do I go to the I'm like, there's no future in YouTube. Right? Okay. When I was in 8th,
that.
Well, I was like in 8th grade, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
So like, who knows? Or do I go like the traditional route of filmmaking and like the film festival circuit? But I don't know. I'm like even now I'm just like, well, I'm kind of in like half of my thing is in the traditional world of like comedy. Like I was on Family Feud. It's on Family Feud. Family Feud, but also like I'm trying to do content, I'm trying to do videos and podcasts. And you mentioned that you used to have a YouTube channel and you were making money from it. So like, what is your take on the traditional route versus making your own thing?
Honestly, my parents, like I said, my parents started us in the social media industry for like when we were young. Like I was maybe 7,
in social
8 years
media,
old.
or
like social media, like everything. Like
were they in it too, or were they just behind?
My dad used to be in it. He used to like, cause it was a singing channel. It was a singing channel, so we used to like sing songs just covers of
Just
anything.
like as a family?
As a family, like all my siblings, and my little brother was 2 or 3.
And he was singing it
And
too?
he was singing too, and
Can they even walk? I don't know 2-year-olds are like...
oh, the kid used to have a whole mic in his hand and rock back and forth. Yeah, no,
That's crazy.
He
Like,
used to do it.
That kind of reminds me of Step Brothers. Have you ever seen that scene in Step Brothers where they're like all in the car singing and like?
I mean, I've seen a few things like that
Okay.
where it kind of reminds me of that, but
Yeah. I'll show you the clip when we're done the podcast.
videos
Yeah.
used to do so well.
Yeah.
Like I have a video of me. Don't search it up.
Is it up? Like, is this all up?
It's still up.
Okay.
It's still up. But it got over 1 million views
Wow.
of me just singing Justin Bieber.
Baby?
No, it was Eeny
One
Meeny.
Less Lonely Girl?
Eeny
Okay,
Meeny.
Eeny Meeny. Who was Sean Kingston? Your dad?
Sean Kingston's mom actually saw the video and showed it to him.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know that?
Because she reached out to my mom.
It was just like,
And
yeah,
she's like, you know, like your daughter is adorable. Like I am going to show my son this. Like this is
That's
amazing.
crazy.
Like
Sean Kingston saw your video.
pretty much, yeah.
That's
It's insane.
Wow.
But
So
yeah.
why do you don't want to do the content or social media path? Would you rather do the traditional path?
Honestly, I feel like this is gonna sound really controversial,
Let's hear
but
it.
people who do social media like TikTok and all this stuff, when you try and branch off into different things,
Okay.
people don't take you seriously. Like TikTokers, okay? If you started from TikTok, you know, doing like the TikTok dances and all this
Yeah.
shit, and then you go and you want to be an actor, people don't take it serious.
Okay, how about YouTubers to Hollywood? Would you?
No, YouTubers, okay, because it's a whole different platform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if your content is based off of, I'm saying if you
Yeah,
start
like
on
off
if you
dancing.
start on TikTok and your content is acting content per se,
Does
you
it
know what I'm
translate?
saying? If you're actually getting the views and you're getting the recognition because you have a talent, okay, yeah, that's fine. But if you're starting TikTok and you're doing these TikTok dances and then one day you decide I want to be an actor,
Yeah.
people aren't going to take you serious because they're like, okay, you didn't have to work for what you did. All you had to do was do a little 15-second clip and now you're an actor.
Yeah.
So, you know, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, yeah. I think like TikTok fame. There's this girl. I don't know her name. She has like 1 million followers. She's like this black girl, 1 million followers on TikTok. She had this meet and greet, right? Nobody showed up.
Oh,
With
shit.
1 million followers, and it's like this weird phenomenon. It's just like TikTok fame does not translate to YouTube
It
fame.
doesn't last either.
Yeah, and then YouTube fame doesn't translate to Hollywood fame.
Yeah.
But it's all creating. But
Yeah.
I agree, like, TikTok is like, it's feeding into the short attention span, which is very detrimental
Yeah.
to society at large.
I mean, I respect the hustle. Like, if you
Yeah.
can make it in TikTok and, you know, you can do your little dance and get 1 million views, I respect it.
Yeah.
Because I can't dance. But, you know, like, it is an easier way for people to get fame, but I feel like it's very short term, not long term.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything meaningful in it. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I would say the same.
Yeah.
I do think that, you know, there's other ways of building yourself up. But,
Yeah.
like I said, respect the hustle. If you could do it, do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you care about, like, because you're in the acting world, do you care about fame at all? Like, if it was, would you, if you were like an unrecognized actor, but you made a living, would that be fine with you?
100%. It's
Okay.
what I love.
Or would you make a living and like not be known, or be known but not make any money?
To be honest, I would honestly not be known and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not just for the money. It's when you're in an industry like this, you can't think about the fame and fortune that comes with it.
Yeah.
Because then you're not doing it because you love it. You're doing it because you want something out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of actors want, is they want the fame and fortune, and they want the money, and they want the fans that come with it. They want the paparazzi.
Yeah.
But you can't do it because of that. If you really have a passion for something, it'll show in your work.
Yeah.
If you're just doing it for the fame and fortune, you're gonna see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially with, like, I think artistry as a whole, being a comic or being an actor, being a filmmaker, it takes like it's gonna take years of like nobody.
It's gonna take
nobody
it takes
seeing
time,
your stuff,
but,
and
you know,
like, yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
no, it's gonna take time, but it's
Yeah.
also like it's little things like this that help build a resume. You know what I'm saying? You work with
Exactly.
your friends, you have fun, and then you have something to also show your work.
Yeah. I've been having this feeling. Tell me if you understand this feeling, just like as a creative. So it's called The Gap. Have you heard of it? Ira Glass, The Gap. So he talks about essentially the reason why we get into creative work is because we have really good taste.
Yeah.
But for the first couple of years, the things that we make are just not good. Like it has potential
Yeah.
to be good, but like it's not quite good. And our taste is good enough that we can tell that what we're making is a disappointment. And a lot of people don't get past this phase. A lot of people, they quit. But the only way to get out of this gap is to just do a large volume of work. That's why I dedicated making videos and podcasts like every week to get through a large volume of work. But basically this feeling of the gap is like your taste is amazing, but you don't have but the work that you make is like not doesn't meet up to your own
it's not up to your full
expectations.
potential.
You feel
basically,
that?
Yeah. I honestly I think that even the bad stuff, you can still see the good in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you just have to have an eye for it. Like, say you were to send, you know, something that you did that you're not too 100% proud of to a film festival. Some people might see the beauty in the fact that it's perfectly imperfect. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And see that potential. So you just kind of, it depends on the person. It depends on, you know, where you're putting it and, you know, the audience you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe just being a comic, bombing is like a huge part, like a huge role that plays in my world. And it's just like, because art is subjective, right?
Yeah.
But then comedy is like, if it's no one's laughing, it's not funny, straight up. So like, going back into school, I'm like bombing on some of my projects. And then
Okay.
I'm just like, oh, this is it's like bombing is like immediate pain like to your body. Like oh shit, shame, just shame everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Literally, when I was editing this video, How to Get Girls, like I would watch that clip of him talking about the gap before I start editing, because at first I'd like start cringing while I'm like editing. I'm like, oh my god.
How do you feel? How do you feel about it? Like, what do you think you could have done better?
One thing I think would be more B-roll.
Okay.
That's what I wanted. Like more establishing shots. I'm watching this show called The Brother Son right now on
Okay.
Netflix, and there's so much B-roll. I'm like, this is so great, and I should have taken a bigger role directing. I feel, but like I think I was preparing too much stuff. Like I actually need a producer. Like trying to juggle everything together.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard.
I wanted to direct more. I'm gonna for this next film. So Diana and I, we're gonna make a film. So I'm basically trying to do a podcast and a film with every single person I meet. And for this next film, I want to put those two things more. The last film that I made with Jordan. Do you know Jordan?
Yeah, I
Asian
know
guy.
Jordan.
Yeah. The critiques I told to him was, he was reading. He had the script in hand because like, he had a clipboard for his role. He was like, he kept looking down. He was on the book and his audio levels were just crazy up and down. So that's why for this one I bought lavs for all of us. And I was like, guys, let's like improvise more. Like a lot of our second date was improvised.
It came so natural to
Yeah.
it. Looked so natural.
I know, right? Like me like slapping my stomach.
Yeah.
I cut it right before you started laughing too.
Oh
'cause
my
I thought
gosh, it was so funny.
But yeah, I don't know. That's the two things I want to bring on to the next project.
Okay.
Yeah, but speaking of the next project, so essentially what I try to do is for the film, I try and cater it towards like something with them, like something that's going on in their lives and their values. So I sent you a couple questions before this podcast. So I'm gonna read the first one and we can talk about it a little bit. The theme. What theme of life are you going through in this phase? So the theme on going through in this phase of life is the independent and money motivated. Used to rely on others for your own happiness, but truly trying to give life a fair shot at independence and focusing on myself and the beauty of feeling comfortable in my own environment. So what was that experience like for you, like relying on other people?
So I was for 4 years of my life, I was in a long-term relationship with somebody, and there's no bad blood, I still love him as a person, but we were very codependent on each other.
Yeah.
We did everything with each other. There was no space in between us. And I feel like for being in that long-term relationship for 4 years, you kind of forget who you are as a person, and you forget your own values and morals.
Yeah.
And so it came to a point where we were very codependent on each other, and we just couldn't really function without knowing what was going on in each other's lives. And so
you talk every day on the phone, and
it was every day. Like it was very, and you know what I'm saying, like some people it works out because some people some people are very hands-on with each other, and it's not to say like I wouldn't change anything in my relationship with him. I just think that one thing that I would have changed was the codependency too much. It's not to say, he was a good guy, nothing against him, love him as a person, and, that's it.
Yeah. It's because there's this quote from The Alchemist: when you're with people, like, long enough, and this could be for friends, this could be for relationships, they kind of put their own values onto you and, like, what you should be in their eyes, you know what I mean, versus, like, who you actually are. This girl that I liked maybe like a year or two ago, she was really into travel, and I was like, well, I like you, so I'm gonna become a fucking I literally studied adventure tour guiding.
Really?
Yeah, I studied adventure tour guiding.
You were devoted. God damn, you were devoted.
Devoted for some ass, But I studied adventure tour guiding. I went to school in San Francisco and studied it.
What?
Yeah. And then I was traveling Canada. I was like, oh, if I'm so good, she'll like me.
Oh my gosh, you did that and you weren't even with her?
No, I was like, I think a huge portion of our lives are dedicated to attracting the opposite sex. Would you agree?
Wait, what was the question?
The things that we do in our lives, obviously it's for us, but in the back of your head, you're just like, well, I also want to attract the opposite sex.
Honestly,
I don't know if that's just for men.
I feel like that's men. I feel like girls
don't care.
There's some that care. To be honest, me, I don't really care. I am who I am, and if you don't like it, you know what I'm saying, there's someone who will. So me personally, speaking from my own, I don't think that I'm like that. I think that I just kind of am who I am, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then that's your loss, not mine.
I don't know. But at the time, I studied adventure tour guiding, went to school in San Francisco, became an adventure tour guide. I was traveling through
That's
Canada.
Crazy. You were devoted. Oh my gosh.
And then she got a man, and I was like, oh my God.
You're like,
it's the most embarrassing thing in my life.
Maybe I shouldn't have left.
I was like, maybe I shouldn't cater my needs to someone else. But even my very first relationship, I was like devastated.
Yeah.
And then my brother, he was just before, it was a 3-year relationship. It's 15 to 18. Mm-hmm. Before you met her, you were someone else. You were your own person with your own values and of who you were.
Well, I completely resonate with that.
Yeah.
I was, like I said, I was with this person for 4 years. So I was 14 and we broke
high
up.
School.
We broke
sweethearts.
up this year in August.
Are you 18?
I'm going to be 20 literally next week.
14, that's 6 years. Oh, wait. I guess, next week. It's 5 years,
We would have been, 5 years. I lost my train of thought. Wow.
What was your values?
My values. I feel like we just both changed as people. We grew up together, but we both had two different paths in life.
Yeah.
And before I was in a relationship with him, he was my first love, my first real relationship, first everything. I was a very independent person. I was not codependent on anybody. I just wanted to focus on myself and focus on my career and my life. At that time, I was also on social media. I don't know if I told you that, but I used to do This is so embarrassing. I used to do Musically.
Okay.
And I used to have a pretty big following.
Yeah.
And I just, honestly, I stopped doing it because I was like, I want to pursue my acting career and no one's going to take me serious.
Oh, I see. So yeah, your first answer makes sense when you're talking about the TikTok and the dancing and...
Yeah, because I've seen it firsthand happen to a lot of people. I've seen, And so I was very independent before, my relationship. And like I said, I'm not trying to shit on anybody, you know? Like he was an amazing significant other to me. Like he was amazing. Like he did everything for me. But we went on two different paths in life, and that's okay. People grow and people change. That's fine.
Would you think it's better to be in a relationship or like court someone who's in your industry? Because like that's the similar path, or
honestly, me personally, I wouldn't mind being with somebody who's in the same industry as me, but I also wouldn't mind being with somebody who's not in the industry at all. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, because doing acting and doing these things, there is a potential chance that you can blow up and people will one day know who you are. I don't want people to know everything about, like, I don't want my relationship to be in the spotlight of everybody, what I'm doing, who I'm with and what we're doing for the day. Like, I feel like that's so, like, your relationship is not just your relationship anymore. It's like everyone else's. You know what I'm saying? It's like a show. Yeah, and everyone's just watching, right?
Yeah. So, coming out of the relationship now, what does your values and what does your future, like, in your head look like to you?
Honestly, a lot of people, when they get out of relationships, they're like, I need to find the next best thing, Like, I need to find someone right away. Like, it's the comfortability, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have somebody beside you anymore, so you want to find someone else who's willing to be beside you. Me, honestly, I'm just trying to focus on my career. I'm trying to focus on making money, making my parents proud, and that's literally it. I'm not looking for anything. If it comes, that's completely fine. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to go and look for it.
Exactly.
I feel like the best types of relationships are the ones that are least expected, the ones that find you when you're not looking for it. If you're looking for it, you're just looking for what you want in the moment.
Yeah.
A few months down the line, you're going to look at this person and be like, did I even, like, who are you? Like, what am I even attracted to at this point?
Yeah, it just stems from this, like, place of loneliness and, like, wanting to be needed. You're
trying to find, the qualities of the person from the past in a new person, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
It'll never be the same.
Yeah.
So you have to do the internal work to be by yourself and heal and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the best thing to heal from like a really shitty, or not a shitty, like just a breakup would be like self-improvement.
Yeah.
Like just becoming better.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like most guys like arcs, like gym arc when they like their first relationship
No, but
ends.
I feel like vast majority it is the guy who's like finding a rebound right away, and it's like, but I mean, I can't blame them, I feel like girls do have it a little more easier.
Yeah.
In the aspect of like finding somebody new.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's way easier for a girl to get a guy, not a guy to get a girl.
I 100% agree. Me and Diego talked about this last time. Yeah, I agree as well, because like I think for guys you have to become something.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I feel like guys nowadays, they don't take anyone serious because, like, I feel like they don't believe that it will be serious. I don't know, like...
You think so?
I think so. Like, I feel like guys, like, vast majority of the guys who are players, it's because they've had some sort of trauma in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they've either been cheated on, lied to, you know what I'm saying? So they kind of...
heartbroken.
They build up a wall. Like, I don't know guys. Like, I don't know guys. I'm not a guy, but I feel like, from what I've seen... Vast majority of the time, a good guy can turn into a whore real fucking quick just by being done dirty.
I think it's because, like, they're like, I'm never going to get hurt again like I did when I was 16.
Yeah, and they build a wall up because they were so vulnerable, and I feel like for some guys that questions their masculinity. You know what I'm saying?
But then I think it goes towards this place of toxic masculinity where you're just like, I hate women from like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a dangerous place to go. You know, for me personally, like I could say, like I'll say this because I'm not in it anymore, but I feel like I went to that place where I was just like, yo, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. Like I never said fuck women, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like in a place where
You're just gonna do your thing. That's it.
Yeah, do my thing, and I'm like, I'm not even. I think is this phenomenon called men who go their own way, where I'm like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. Like fuck this. Like I think relationships are fucked. I'm never gonna find love. But then now I'm at a place where I'm just like, I need to be healthy. I need to be better, and I need to have a healthy relationship with women and myself and like people. But what does the girl side look like in the heartbreak and the breakup?
Oh, it's messy. Like, I feel like it hits girls first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When the breakup happens, it hits us right away. For a guy, I feel like it hits them later. Like, you wait 2-3 months and they're kind of like, oh, fuck, like, she's actually gone. You know what I'm saying? Girls, in the moment, we mourn it, we feel it, and then we kind of slowly start to move on. And when the guy starts to see that we're not coming back, then it hits them. So for us, we feel it and get over it. That's how I take it. That's how I feel. Like I can 100%, not 100%, like I can 75% say like I don't think about my ex much. Like there's times where like, okay, I'll see something and I'm like, oh fuck, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we did this together, you know, but it's not like I want to cry and I want to, you know, throw things against my wall and like I want him back. Because like I said, I feel like we both are going on 2 different paths. We find each other in the future, you know, whatever.
Yeah, of course.
But if not, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not holding on to any type of, you know, false hope or whatever. It is what it is.
Or how about, okay, while you're in this pursuit of like this alchemy of becoming the best version of yourself, do you think it's a good idea to be in a relationship? We kind of talked about this while we were filming.
If the person brings value and, you know, not value, because obviously whatever. I'm trying to think of another word.
Yeah.
If the person brings like if this person brings you up.
Yeah.
Then I 100%, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't mind, but for the meantime, I feel like I need to be by myself. I need to figure out who I am as a person, what I like to do on my day-to-day basis, you know, just general things that like you wouldn't be able to figure out if you were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people need a lot of self-reflection. And if you are in a very codependent relationship, you're not going to have a lot of self-reflection to sit with yourself and say, okay, what does Diana want to do for the day?
Yeah.
You know? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I 100% agree. We got about 30 minutes left, so I'm going to go on to the next 2 topics. So the second one was, what are you currently struggling with? You wrote this, so I assume you're okay talking about it. You know?
Yeah.
If anything's off topic, just please let me know. I'll cut it out. I'm struggling a lot with my BPD and eating disorder at this moment of life. Also struggling to find people who understand me and value me for who I am. I've struggled as a kid to make friends and fit in. As I get older, it's harder for me to be social and go outside my comfort zone and make valuable, meaningful relationships with people. Which one you want to tackle first?
You choose.
Okay, let's go with the BPD. So I've family who has like mental disorders, and I think coming from a place with like nothing, maybe I do have mental disorders and I need to like go see a psychiatrist, but it's like very hard to deal with sometimes because it's just like they're acting like can't you just be normal?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just get frustrated. But what is your experience with BPD?
So I recently got diagnosed.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, people were always saying to me, you know, Diana, you know, your moods, they change quickly. And when you are angry, you are a completely different person. And I never really took it as something that I should look into. I always just thought, okay, you know, maybe I'm just really upset or maybe I'm just really angry. I never for a second thought that there could be something wrong with me. But I do have mental illness that stems in my family. My father's has mental illness. And so I feel more comfortable talking about it now, but when I was a kid, I used to always really suppress the way that I felt because I felt like people wouldn't accept me or people wouldn't understand what it's like to go through that stuff.
Yeah.
And so in the topic of, having BPD and stuff like that, I used to suppress my emotions. I used to suppress all of it. I never used to speak about it. I never used to let it, any sign that there was something wrong with me until I would get really angry. I would get really sad and be alone in my room and just, start freaking out.
Yeah.
And so what made me want to go and figure out if there was something wrong with me was being, once again, being in my relationship and having these outbursts that I couldn't explain, or having these trust issues that I couldn't fathom and there was no reason as to why. And so I did get checked out and, I did, end up having something that was a little more.
So what would, if you were to define BPD, because it's not multiple personality, it's like you have so you switch on a dime?
So in my knowledge to what I have going on, I feel emotions way more intensely and they switch. So
they switch quickly?
They switch quickly. It depends. So sometimes I could literally be in a depressive mode for a week. And I cannot get out of it. I will literally sit in my room, I will cry, I will not do anything. And sometimes it's literally about the smallest things.
Like what?
If my friend didn't reply to me, I'm like, they freaking hate me.
Yeah.
If my friend didn't reply to me, they hate me. And you instantly go to a place and you now hate them. Because you're
it's all in your head.
It's all in your head and it's not real, but you feel like a sort of abandonment. That's one thing, and that's why I said in the question about earlier that I need to find my own independence and I need to be comfortable with being alone, is because I have a irrational fear of being alone. When I am alone, my mind wanders. It's so messed up.
Yeah. I think our evolved nature, it rewards pessimism. Mm-hmm. So we're meant to think negatively.
Yeah.
Because I think it's designed in a survivorship way where if we were both 1,000 years ago, we're both in a forest and we both heard noises from a bush and I was an optimist and you're a pessimist. I'm like, guys, it's a rabbit, and you're like, no, it's a tiger, and I'm like, no, it's a rabbit.
Yeah.
And I catch a rabbit 9 out of 10 times, but the one time it's a tiger, you would live. So our evolved nature rewards pessimism. So I think it's built within us to think negatively. You know what I mean? But I don't know where the intensity comes from. I guess it's just genetics.
You feel it so much more than anyone would. The littlest things could set you off.
Yeah.
Even just a trigger. You could see someone could say something and it could remind you of something that happened 2 years ago and you're like, I freaking hate you now. It's so messed up.
Has that ruined your relationships? Just friendships and... Because we'll go to the meaningful relationships.
Friendships, yeah. I mean, I struggled a lot as a kid to make friends. I used to get bullied a lot in school. I'm not as social. I'm more social now.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid and, up to even a few months ago, I never really went out and talked to people. I kind of just isolated myself and, just closed myself off from ever making friends.
Yeah.
Until obviously I went on BG and I met, some of my closest friends now,
Yeah. Is there a reason why you didn't want to pursue meaningful relationships at the time?
Because I feel having these intrusive thoughts, it's you feel like everything's just gonna go wrong. You're never gonna find people who completely understand you. Everything ends. There's no meaning to it,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the most pessimistic way to look at it. But everything ends. Regardless. But can't you find hope in that?
It's because really hard.
Because it ends, there's meaning and there's beauty in it.
but I don't know, like, I never want to put myself in a position to feel abandoned.
Yeah.
So, and that's also part of BPD, is like feeling abandoned and feeling like everybody hates you, and like it's a lot. But the abandonment part of it is like, I don't want to feel rejection. I don't want to feel like, you know, people are withdrawing themselves from my life. So I don't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
You know?
So now that you've kind of got out of that bubble, you're being more social, creating meaningful relationships, does that fear still like sit in the back of your mind?
It does. It's like, you know, these people might leave, you know, and there's nothing that I can do about it. And that's what I'm trying. I'm trying to have the mindset that there's nothing I can do about it, but to continue to pursue, because I feel like I push away, and I unintentionally push away, and it's just something I do.
Yeah.
With friends, everything, people will notice on end. Like, I won't message them. Like, I'll just kind of be in my own world.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad about it, because I'll come back and I'm like, you know, like, hey, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going through shit. And they're like, what the hell, man? Like, I've been trying to reach you.
Yeah, but you're not trying to hurt them at all. You're just like trying to help yourself. But
I'm not. Like, I had a really close friend from New York, and I met him last year, and he flew here 3 times to come see me. He came for my birthday, he came again, and something happened, so then he flew back. And we were really close. Like, he was like my bestest friend, and I kept pushing him away.
Yeah.
I kept like, and there's obviously a barrier. Like, he's in New York and I'm in Toronto. Like, there was obviously a barrier, so our only source of communication would be to text and FaceTime. And we would play video games and whatever. And I kept pushing back. And it wasn't something that I was intentionally trying to do, but I just felt so overwhelmed with this fear of abandonment that I was actually the one who was abandoning someone else.
Yeah. It's kind of like this weird paradox in a way.
Yeah.
You're trying to avoid the thing that like you're
worried about, but you're doing it to someone else.
Yeah.
And I feel so terrible. And, you know, we fell off. Like, we haven't really spoken much. He was supposed to fly here for my birthday, and I don't think he's coming. So,
what if you reached out?
I've tried. Like, I've tried calling. Like, I've tried, you know, but it's very like short answers. It's not like, you know.
Yeah.
And
it's not like what it used to be.
No, because me and him used to talk every day. We used to just talk about random shit. Like, he was literally my bestest friend, like the only person I had, and he's gone. So
yeah. I had that kind of same feeling before, where like I talked to this girl like every day, like we knew everything about each other, and then we call each other like soulmates and shit. I'm like, all right, that's kind of too corny. But like,
no, you know what's funny is me and him, we had a pact where like, if we don't find a boyfriend and I don't find a girlfriend by 27, we're getting married. We are getting married, and you are coming here. And he was like, I'm gonna clean the house. I'll be the housewife. I'm like, all right, that's fine. Yeah.
But I feel like that, I don't know, like, I'm like a huge fan of How I Met Your Mother. If you watch the show, they had that rule, like, by the time we're 40, if we never found anyone. I don't know, it just, like, has this, like, weird, like this situationship soulmate, like, will we end up together type thing. It's just like it sounds beautiful like on paper, but like in real life it's like the worst experience to ever go through.
It is, because you're like creating this pact with this person, and if
it's just like you're my backup kind of, you know what I mean?
You know what,
for me in my thing,
I genuinely, I see him as, like, I saw him as, like, one of my bestest friends. Yeah. Like, I could literally tell him anything. I could be in any situation, and I know he would accept me for what it was. And so I feel like it was kind of in a joking manner. Like, it wasn't like we actually thought, like, 27 we're getting married, but...
And he's like, what?
He's like, I thought we were going to get married, like, you know? But it was a joking... we used to joke about it, too. It's like, okay, you get your Canadian visa, I get my American visa, and we're good, like, you know?
Yeah.
So...
and then it sucks when it ends, because it's just like, there's like this... such strong connection, and then now there's nothing.
Well, yeah, because it goes from talking to somebody every day to not even knowing what's going on in their life. It's like, you know, you wonder sometimes what happened, you know, how are you, what are you doing?
Yeah. And then like for me, I grew like resentment And I was like, someone who I like loved at one point, I like hate now. But I think hate and love are kind of like the same emotion.
I could never hate that person. That person did so much for me. He was such a good person.
Yeah.
He deserves the absolute best. Like he was so amazing to me. So, you know, even if we don't talk, I still have love for him.
That's great. That's great to hear. Like I'm glad there's still love.
Of course.
At the core of everything.
Of course. I could never hate him. No.
It was just me on my side when I was doing it.
I mean, who knows? Your situation could have ended a little more messy, you know?
Yeah. I mean, mine was pretty messy.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was. I'll tell you about it after.
I'll tell you a little more about my situation after too.
Do you find struggle finding people who value you, like, at this current moment?
I do. I mean, I'm grateful to say that I have made some, you know, 2 new friends in the last few months and into the new year, whatever. But as far as to go about, you know, me being able to socialize with someone on the street or on BG, it's not freaking happening. Like, I don't know, you haven't seen me, but Diego has seen me. I sit in a corner all freaking day and I'll just do nothing.
Really?
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Just, what's hard, like, what do you find difficult about it?
I don't know. The awkwardness. Like,
it's going to be awkward no matter what.
The start of having a conversation. If somebody comes up to me and they're socializing with me and they're asking me questions, I'm fine. I can socialize with you. But it's me. If you put me in a situation to go have a conversation with someone, I'm probably gonna end up saying something stupid.
Yeah, but it's okay to say something stupid. I say stupid shit all the time.
Meet someone.
I don't know.
No, not when you first meet someone. When you first meet someone and you say something stupid, they're gonna be like, oh.
This guy's pretty stupid.
This girl's pretty freaking dumb. Like, what?
Yeah. I actually have a friend who plays dumb when, like, they first meet people.
Really?
Yeah, because she says it's easier to just talk to them when you just play stupid.
Yeah, but then people just think you're stupid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, and that's another thing. I care too much about what people think about me.
Yeah.
And it affects my mood. It affects me.
Yeah.
So going and putting myself out there, in my mind, I'm like, this person thinks I'm a dumbass. Like, this person thinks I'm an idiot. Like, so.
Yeah. It's a tough thing because first impressions are huge.
It is. And for me, it is. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, when I first meet someone, I will always remember the first time.
Yeah. I hope I didn't give a bad first impression to you.
No, you didn't.
Okay, cool. We got about 10 minutes left on the podcast. I'm going to go through the last question, and then I'm going to ask you something in the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
I asked you, what ultimate truth have you realized at this phase, or just in your life, in your 20, right?
Yes.
You turned 20?
20.
In your 20 years of existence, you said the ultimate truth I've realized is that people can change in the blink of an eye. Somebody can be serious about you one day and not feel that way anymore. You don't even have to do anything. You could be the same person, have the same morals and aspirations, but not everything is permanent in life. Some people are brought into your life as lessons, and you have to accept the situation for what it is and move on. So, what is your experience overall with losing? I actually made a video called "People Come in Your Life in Seasons," and like this whole phenomenon of people come in your life for, like, I think it's like this corny Facebook quote, a reason, a season, or a lifetime, some shit like that. But the joke that I made in my video was like a reason, a season, or a one night stand.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm like, I've had like big friend groups in the past, and like now I remember, like, I was like going to sleep and I was like thinking about, I was at a bonfire with it was like my high school friends, and I was like, you guys mean the world to me, and I don't speak to any of them. And then I had another friend group, same thing, and then now I don't speak to any of them.
I feel you on that, because what was it? Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I used to have this this whole big friend group I used to hang out with, and I don't talk to any of them today. And the same thing happened. I was like, you guys are my closest friends. Like, I'm always here for you guys. My house is always the chill spot. Everybody comes to chill to my house. Like, it's kind of what we do. So when I had this friend group, people used to come and sleep over and whatever. And there was a point where people started branching off. You know, everybody started kind of doing their own thing. And I started to find out that these people were actually didn't like us. And that
Who's us? Because in the group?
my sister, my brother, like we were all in this big group. I'm talking like maybe 20 people.
Yeah.
Give or take. But I come to find out that they actually didn't like us. Some people were stealing from us.
Whoa, like stealing at your house?
Yeah.
They would just like grab something before they leave?
I mean, it's in the past. Like, I don't want to, make it a problem.
Yeah,
it's in the past. But, there was a time where, someone did steal from us and we thought that they were our friend.
Yeah.
And I come to find out that these people actually used to group up and talk bad about us.
Wow.
And, like my mom used to be around and my mom used to give them food or my mom used to let them stay, rest their head on the couch and spend the night, like. Of
course.
It was things like that. So the reason why I say the ultimate truth that I've realized in my life is that not everybody's temporary and not everybody's intentions are what they say they are. They could feel completely different about you when, they're with other people.
Yeah.
So I just, no hate to them, like everybody's on their own path of life, I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, you know what I'm saying? I feel like when I am comfortable with people, I'm a lot, like I say out of pocket shit, like I'm a lot. And I like to admit that because that's who I am as a person, but not everybody's permanent in your life. People come, people go, and that's just the way life is.
Yeah, it's a big lesson to learn because like it goes back to this like abandonment thing.
Mm-hmm.
You just like you don't want to lose people, but like at the same time some people are just like negative and are just not good for you, and like
honestly,
you need to cut it out.
I feel like people come and go, and that's just the way life is. Like you're gonna meet so many people in your life. There's God, how many people on this freaking earth? Like you run into people every day. You see new faces every day. Like, what's these 3 people that decide to leave your life? What's that gonna do for you? I mean, bye. You know, if you want to leave, that's you. Yeah. But I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna cry about it.
Yeah, and you learn what's good for you as well.
No, I've learned to honestly like read people better and pick and choose who I want in my life because, there's people who don't have the real raw intentions that they're trying to show you that they have and they don't actually have it.
Do you have like, I know like you won't physically have like a checklist, but do you have like a mental checklist in your head of like certain values that people need to have in order for you to associate with yourself with them?
I don't have a checklist. There are some things that will kind of turn me the other way if I do pick up on. Yeah. I'd like to say that I'm a pretty laid back person. Like it doesn't take a lot to be friends with me. Like I accept you for who you are, no matter what the circumstances are. I just ask for honesty and respect. Like if you're coming to me, come in a respectful manner. If you're coming to my home, come in a respectful manner. Mm-hmm. Be respectful to my family. Be respectful to my siblings. Like those are the things that just matter to me. Yeah. And if you don't have that, then you don't have a friendship with me. Yeah. Because, like if you just common respect, you're coming into my house. We're not stealing. We're not shopping. We're not at the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to go steal at the mall, go. Yeah. Not my business. Yeah. But if you're coming in my house and you're like searching around to see if you can find something to teeth that I'm not going to remember, I'm going to remember. Yeah. How did you, if this is okay with sharing, how did you find out? So it actually wasn't my item that was stolen. It was my sister's. Okay. And we ended up having some of our friends back in like 2019. They came over and it was like a storm and the power cut out. And so we were all at my table. We were all just playing like games. And 2 of our friends were like, okay, I'm going to go to the washroom. I'm kind of drunk. One of them wanted to help the other. I went upstairs, and my sister took a shower prior to them coming. So she took off one of her chains, and it was gold or something like that. And she took it off, and she left it on, like, the sink, like the vanity, right? And she was obviously going to go put it back on later. And later that night, she went to go put it back on after they left and noticed that it was gone. Then she saw on this person's TikTok that he had it around his wrist.
Bro. This guy's like exposing himself.
Like he had it on his wrist and he was like flexing it. I'm like,
oh, like he was emphasizing it in the video, or was he like dancing?
Like I think he like moved his arm up and you could see it.
Yeah.
But it was very prominent that you could see it. And my sister knew instantly. She's like, that's my freaking chain. Like, what the fuck? And he took two of them, not one.
That's terrible. Yeah, those are terrible friends. So honesty, integrity, and like family respect.
Yeah, you just have to be like a respectful person. Like I don't care about, money or whatever comes with a friendship. Like that doesn't make a friendship.
Yeah, of course.
Who you are, what your values are. Because if you have self-respect, you're not going to go, and respect for another person, you're not going to go in someone's house and steal.
Yeah.
You're not going to go in someone's house and go say the F word in front of my mother.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like, my mom doesn't care. Like, my mom is so chill. I love my mom. But you have to reach a certain comfortability. You know what I'm saying? You have to make yourself known before you come in my house and you do those things.
Yeah.
So that's all that I ask. I'm not a very hard person to be friends with, I'd like to say.
Yeah, you seem pretty chill.
Thank you.
We got about 4 or 5 minutes left. The last question I ask all my guests is, for people, do you think there is a meaning in life? And for people who are struggling to find meaning within their own lives, what advice would you give them?
Sorry, what was the question?
Do you think there's meaning in life? Like, do you think there's an ultimate purpose?
I do. I feel like everybody is put here to reach some sort of goal or some sort of something, Like, I feel like I was put on this earth to help people. I don't know if I told you, but I have, like, little psychic tendencies in my family.
What?
Yeah.
That's so Raven? That's so Diana?
No, so sometimes, and my sister too, sometimes we'll have like little dreams and like, I'll warn my friends, I'm like, hey, be careful doing this because...
Yeah, don't walk on Yonge Street at 307.
No, it's like, it'll be like something that could be threatening to them or like dangerous. I'll kind of get those dreams where I'll be like, hey, be careful. And there's been times where stuff has actually happened. And that's why I speak from experience.
That's crazy.
And so I feel like I was put here to help people.
Like psychically?
Yeah, to guide, like
psychically specifically.
It sounds
or like
crazy,
acting?
and people are probably gonna think I'm absolutely insane.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. But if you do, then you do. But
I thought you were gonna say like help people through like telling stories as an actress, but then you like came out left field with psychic
I did
abilities.
a whole freaking 360 turn to a completely So yeah, I feel like I was put here to help people and make them knowledgeable about certain things that maybe they wouldn't think of.
But so specifically psychic abilities, like you're specifically like niching down on that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. What advice would you give to people who are looking for their own meaning in life, their own purpose?
Honestly, just ride the wave.
Just ride the wave.
Just ride the wave. Don't just be yourself. Just literally live life.
Yeah.
I don't have the proper words for it. Like, just don't live with any expectations. Just live.
Yeah. Just be here now.
Just be here and enjoy it. Don't be here and expect for things to go well, because not everything's going to go well in life. Mm-hmm. You're going to have those bumpy roads that you're going to go down, but it makes you who you are as a person. And it makes you stronger as a person, too. Yeah. I feel like.
Is there any psychic abilities you've had like recently where you leave the podcast with in our last minute?
I have.
What? What is it? It's gonna kill me.
I'll tell you after the podcast. I don't want to tell you on here because it has to do with somebody else.
Okay. Let's end the podcast now. All right. Thanks for watching the Joe Pedrosa podcast, episode 32, Stay on Average Fools.
Thanks for watching the podcast. If you're interested in watching some comedy content from myself, you can subscribe to me on Patreon for only $5 a month. Have a way to simulate a family without genetic deformities due to inbreeding, you southern conservatives? Visit a local Walmart near you. Not available in any color besides white. Wait, Santa. Are you tired?
So if there's anyone out there that wants to roleplay cops and robbers tonight, you can put some handcuffs on and you could run away while I'm chasing your ass. Consensually, of course. Alright.
So we use your vanity, douceness, and insanity. And then all the comics loved him. Thanks for watching, and stay on Average Fools.